Hello dear students, welcome back. Let us sum up our lesson 1.2 on saying please. We are on page number 18, last paragraph.
It is a matter of general agreement that the war has had a chilling effect upon those little everyday civilities of behavior that sweeten the general air. There is a general agreement that the atmosphere around you encourages you. We must get those civilities back if we are to make life kindly and tolerable for each other. If we are able to bring these civilities, these courtesies back to our life, only then we can make our life livable. Only we can make our life tolerable for each other. And we all know that if we are in a happy mood, we can give the best out of us. We cannot get them back by invoking the law. Now, if the government says that we have to bring back civility, so we will impose the law, compulsion of courtesies, it cannot be done. Law cannot make anyone forced to use this civility to become civil. The policeman is a necessary symbol and the law is a necessary institution for a society that is still somewhat lower than the angels. Lower than the angels, that means less important or less than perfect than the angels. But the law can only protect us against material attack. It cannot force, it cannot make compulsion on any type of civility or on any type of courtesy. Nor will the liftman's way of meeting moral affront by physical violence help us to restore the civilities. The way this liftman, which we saw in the first paragraph, the example of the liftman was given there. The liftman, what he did? He threw out the passenger from his lift because he did not use courtesy. The passenger did not use courtesy. He did not say top please. Now this type of violence also wouldn't make the passenger to become civil, to use courtesy. That also, the use of violence is also of no use. As making a law is useless, in the same way use of violence is also useless. I suggest to him that he would have had a more subtle and effective revenge if he had treated the gentleman who would not say please with elaborate politeness. Now this gentleman is the passenger whom the liftman had thrown away from his lift. Now the narrator suggests that it would be a good revenge if he would have behaved more politely. Instead of throwing him away, if he would have been more polite to the passenger, then that would be more effective. He would have had the victory not only over the boor means the rude person, but over himself. He would have victory over his anger, and also he would have victory over the passenger, over the rude man. Maybe he would behave politely with the passenger, with the liftman in his next visit, and that is the victory that counts. Now here, what is the victory? Not to make the person punish, but to make him realize about his fault of not being polite. The polite man may lose the material advantage, but he always has the spiritual victory. The present thing may not happen to him. To a polite person, he may not get the advantage of the material thing, whatever is present in him, but he would have the spiritual victory. I commend to the liftman a story of Chesterfield. Chesterfield is the English statements, more commonly known as Lord Chesterfield. he recommends Chesterfield's example story to the liftman. The story is given here in short. In his time, the London streets were without the pavements of today, and the man who took the wall had the driest footing. I never give the wall to a scoundrel, said a man who met Chesterfield one day in the street. Now he says the situation of the story, what is described there. This Lord Chesterfield, he meets a man and he says that I never give the wall to the scoundrels, means bad people. He never gives the wall. To give the wall means to give the or let the person walk to the side of the wall, to the extreme side, very next to the wall. The streets did not have pavements, footpaths. The streets did not have, and that is why it was very dangerous to walk somewhere beside the road. And so the man is saying that I will never give a scoundrel the wall, the place next to the wall. Take to the wall. But Lord Chesterfield said, I would do. I would give him the place there. I would give him the wall. I never give the wall to the scoundrel, said the man who met Chesterfield one day in the street. I always do, said Chesterfield, stepping with a bow into the road. I hope the liftman will agree that his revenge was much more sweet than if he had flung the fellow into the mud. Instead of throwing that fellow out or insulting him, instead of that, this type of revenge would be more useful. So our lesson is completed here. Very interesting, very beautiful lesson written by Moral George Gardiner. Moral values are implemented in this lesson. The writer wants to spread this type of courtesy. He wants to make the society civil in this lesson.
Let us sum up the lesson with some important notes from the passage itself. In the first paragraph, we saw that the liftman wanted his passengers to be civil with him. He wanted his passengers to be polite and use the word please. Although we know that there is no law against bad manners, but it is also true that law cannot teach anybody to be civil. Now the liftman did not demand anything impossible, but just a courteous please to be added to the instruction given to him. He did not say that he was not ready to obey the passenger, but what he demanded was a simple please, a courteous please. For the passenger also, it was not at all difficult to fulfill the desire of the liftman. A small gesture from him for somebody lower in social status than him could have solved the matter, but ego. The matter was dragged into a bitter ego clash, and that imposed the liftman for physical violence. The ultimate victim was probably the liftman. Not actually liftman, but his dependent wife, who had no choice but to tolerate whatever the liftman had done to her. Similarly, the bus conductor had every right to throw the writer out of the bus. The writer, he was penniless. He did not have money to purchase ticket. He had all the right to throw him away, but he did not do so. He avoided the ugly scene and allowed him to travel. When he trampled on the writer's foot with his heavy boot, that time also there was no need of apology. He could just go away, but he was quick to apologize. Thus, discourteousness might not be legal offense, but it is definitely a moral offense which can be easily rectified by practicing courtesy. That is a very simple thing that the writer wants to explain. We need to groom ourselves for achieving all these qualities. The bus conductor, who was always cheerful, his cheerfulness was infectious and made the atmosphere in the bus pleasant. This made his job easier as all the passengers in the bus cooperated with him. So the author felt that his good manners were his investment and not a wasteful luxury. Here we complete our lesson number 2, 1.2 on saying please. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Thank you.